So today we are building the fence for the lagoon. We have to have a fence in front of the lagoon surrounding it with a gate. There's specific parameters. And then once we have that, we call environmental services, and they come back and they give us our use permit. So this is kind of the next step before we can move on. So if you're just joining us, my husband and I and my parents have bought raw land, and we are building a homestead. So we are looking to be as self-sustainable as possible. That to us means trying to grow and raise our own food as much as possible, and kind of get back to the heart of what we should be learning and knowing how to do as humans to take care of ourselves. So my name is Jess, and my husband's name is Joe, and you're watching American Roots. Now we're gonna head down there. He's down there already working, and we're gonna see what we can do. Today we had slated that we really wanted to get our posts done. So to us, what that means is digging it out, using the auger, laying concrete, and setting the posts. Now he did say if we put them in 4 feet, we would not have to set concrete. So we're measuring right now to see if we even have enough material. We may have to go get another roll of fencing. Joe was reading in the specs that if you have livestock, you need to go on the outside of the berm, and that's going to change the dimensions quite a bit because these berms are quite large. So he's restaking it out right now, and we're going to see what we have to do to get it right. I mean, we don't want to make the mistake of setting the fence and then not having it the right way.
Exactly 102 feet 7 inches on every corner. But yeah.
Ooh, you almost had it there.
Clean it out more. That's only a little bit. That's enough to get concrete around there.
Not 3 bags worth.
It's a 6-inch. Doesn't matter. You can do 1 bag per hole. No stretch. Just making more of something to stick in the ground.
I like that.
So it's tall though. You probably want to take it down maybe 5 feet. I'll take it to 5 feet. Right now it's at like 6 feet. That hole's about 2 feet.
You want me to put one in one hole or just set it next to it?
Yeah, go ahead and drop it in both of them.
Okay.
One 7 inches, northeast, south, and west. It's a hot, sweaty day, but it's a good day to do fence posts. So that's what I'm doing, getting ready to mix some cement. So I brought over just a couple bags of cement, some water. I got a hoe and a shovel. I'll get it mixed up, plop it in my little hole, call it a day. Here comes Jess and the puppies to help. I'm only assuming that's why she's driving so slow. Yep, here's the puppies. Hi.
Hi.
Did you come to help?
I'm gonna park up over there so I'm out of the way of the cat.
Okay. Here's Murphy. Alright, they came to help. Come on, brother. That's Murphy. He's a champion. Best farm dog ever. He's a good boy.
Whoa.
And I'll flip it. Glad the wind's blowing that way. So we'll mix that a lot. And we're gonna do this hole, run down to the other. Like making a cake.
That's a perfect shovel.
It is.
Thanks, Dollar Tools.
Yeah, we got these from
The auction.
Auction. Show your bubble.
Half bubble off plum.
No, it's dead nuts, son.
Sure is.
Look, upside down. Good nuts.
We have been out here all day setting the posts. And what it is first, it's hot. But second, we want to make sure that we're doing it right. It's a lot of money to put up a fence. I mean, we've spent about $1,100 on materials so far. And we don't want to have to go back and do it again because it was wrong. And like Joe said, he is keeping exact measurements in his book so that if he has to reconstruct this again, he would be able to do it no problem. I think with each project, you learn more skills and you also learn more lessons. And I think that with that, you start to put them in your memory bank, and everything gets a little bit more and more complicated with each thing that you have to do. But that's why I'm glad that you take things one step at a time instead of eating it all at one time. One bite makes it seem a lot more doable. And like I said, you learn each step of the way, so it lends itself later on to the next project, to the next thing you're doing. And I just have really tried to take it all in. Some moments are more enjoyable than others. And I just keep remembering to keep making pots of coffee. That's the thing that helps you allow like rest and getting it together and thinking about what you need to do next.
Oh, nice. Good dance.
You needed to.
Thanks, I got to.
Today is day 3. We are at the fencing again, so we got the majority of the posts in. We have 2 left to put in, 1 left to dig the hole for, and then we have to cement, I think, 3 or 4 in. So we're almost ready to start putting in T-posts. Like I said, in day 2 and day 1, we're trying to really take our time. This fence is extremely expensive, and we want to make sure that it's done right. So we're taking our time, doing everything very methodically, and trying to
Professional.
Make it as professional as possible in a DIY sitch.
Measuring T-posts. Marking and making sure everything's level.
So he's drawing the line, and then that will tell us where to put the post. So we'll line it up with that, and then we'll be able to finish the bracing, because it looks like so we have 2 more to do. It's been a long 2 days. Because we're not professional, we spend a lot of time checking, measuring, remeasuring, just to make sure. We learned with the chicken fence that it's better to take your time and try to get it right. And we've learned a couple things since then. So, and this fence came with specs that were recommendations. So we're trying to follow those as best as possible. We have to have 2 by 4 squares on the fencing. So we're trying to get all of our posts set in all the corners and all the braces done, and then we'll wrap it with fencing. Last post to drive. It is day 4. We are still working on this fence. Today we are pounding T-posts and running wire. So this is a good thing. It got so hot yesterday that we stopped, but Joe came out and hung the gate last night. So this morning we've come out while it is bright and early, and we are going to get things done. Now we have the last side of T-post to run, and then we're going to put the fencing on. So we are slowly closing in on finishing up this project. Once we get it done, I can call environmental services, and they can come out and do their final inspection and give us a use permit. And that's when we can start getting other things done. So Joe is working on flattening out the berm. We bought covers to go over the clean out spaces. We just have a lot of things on the to-do list, and getting this fence finished, well, that's going to be a beautiful thing.
Do
12 feet?
we can do 11, but 12's good.
This is a huge check off the to-do list. I mean, we've been out here for 4 days, and we're finally driving the last post. But we really wanted to make sure that it was done right. And this is a lot of money we've spent on this fence. I mean, I think the last time I counted, I think we were up to about $1,600 in materials. We had a quote from a company that told us they wanted $4,500 to put a fence up out here. And yes, it would have been professional and all of that, but we really wanted to accept the challenge of trying to figure out how to make a very sturdy fence. There's no learning in paying somebody to do something for you. I mean, I get the opportunity of like convenience and all that, but at the same time, is it really an opportunity if you don't have an opportunity to learn? Oh, there's the teacher in me. But I really have enjoyed getting to learn how to do things for ourselves. It has been a hard process because when you don't know, you don't know. But if you're not afraid to ask questions and you have good people around you that will give you good advice, there shouldn't be any problem to you figuring out how to get things done. And that is what I think my friend tag means by it's easy. When you go into things not knowing what to do and you are willing to learn, it can make it easier because your attitude is everything, and having the ability to stay positive about it, that can be some of the toughest things you have to learn. But we've made it to the other side of this fence, no pun intended. We bought a couple different ways to try to fasten down the fence. We bought fence staples, we bought pneumatic staples, we bought like wire ties. So Joe's gonna do a test run right now before we drag the generator and the compressor and everything down to the fence area. We're gonna make sure that it works. If it works and everything fits, then we're gonna be able to use the generator and the compressor to help us. And like Tag says, our tools are a force multiplier, because we were able to drive those T-posts super fast. I mean, that was like an hour, and that was checked off our to-do list. And that's a huge space. So this is super awesome. We're able to really get this fence done today, I think. Let's hope that the staples fit. You might need to strap that in, strapless.
No. It's good, so you ain't gonna strap nothing.
Strapless it is. We're trying to work smarter, not harder. So I've asked him to put everything on the bucket that we're gonna need out there, so that we're not coming back and forth for hammers and staples and baling wire and pliers. Waste a lot of time. So if we can also use our time capital wisely, working smarter, not harder, I think we'll be able to get a lot more done faster. So it is day 5. We had a very hot day yesterday. We were kind of trying to figure out exactly what we needed to do, because we're having a hard time stretching the fence. This fence was extremely expensive, and I don't want to waste it, and neither does Joe. So we're both trying to figure out the best way to stretch it. So we've been watching videos, we've been trying to figure out what we're gonna do, and I think we've come up with a solution. We are anxious to call this project done. It's just been a long week, and we need to move on to other things. So what we've come up with is the truck that we bought has 3 hitches on it. And Joe has constructed a board that he's notched out, and we're gonna put ratchet straps on it. We're gonna ratchet up this roll of fencing, and then we're gonna try to pull this 100-foot section really tight. We're gonna try to ratchet out any of the slack that's in the top or the bottom, and then we can go and clip it on. So we feel pretty confident that this is going to work.
Sounds a little shorter.
That's good. It's really tight. So I'm really pleased. This is getting it really nice. It's got to be, you know, pretty taut all the way through. So we're going to need to bring the generator back down. We're using it right now to charge some things up. But yeah, I think it looks great. It looks like we have a pretty tight fence. This is gonna work. It's time to rock and roll. We have to stretch the fence and tie it down, and then we're gonna work on the third side. It just got way too hot today to be out here in the blazing sun. And so we took care of other like administration duties and things that we had to get done. We had some visitors to the farm, and we decided it'd be best to start working on it right now at golden hour. It seems really hard because the progress is slow, but the person that we talked to today at the county was like, you just want to make sure that your fence is done right. And so taking that piece of advice from the meeting, we're really making sure we have everything done to specs. And the specs were just suggestions, but I think they were suggestions that would help you get your use permit. It didn't take us but maybe an hour to do that whole side, to tie it all down once we got it tight. The trick was getting it tight. So this is the area. So if Joe had it tied to the truck bumper, I don't think he would have anywhere to go with all these dead trees and everything in the way with the truck. So we decided we're gonna tie it to the skid steer and just use the skid steer to see if we can't tighten it up. The other side is really nice and straight. We're really pleased with how that turned out. We haven't cut the wire. It's all still one continuous piece, which I think is helping the tension as well.
So excited about tying it. Look at that.
Well, that's good that it's that tight without stapling it right there.
Yeah.
Because we did not staple that log. This is the one I said.
To stop.
Yeah, let's wait, and then.
We stapled this, right?
And this brace.
Tight, mama.
It looks good. We found out with these clips we were using that it's much easier if somebody's on the back side of the T-post and somebody's on the front side. And then that way somebody can push and someone can pull. These clips that we bought don't require any tools. And so that's the other thing that we learned. On the first fence, we used these clips that were T-post fence clips, right? Well, we needed a special tool to put them on because they kind of like hog tie around the wire. Well, I got the hang of that. We bought the special tool. It was like 18 bucks, you know, whatever. Took forever. It was really hard on my hands. Then we bought these other clips that no tool is required. All you have to do is like push and kind of pull, and then they go on. But like I said, we found it's much easier if you have somebody that can push and pull at the same time. It makes it go by way faster. We did the entire fence behind me, the whole side, in less than an hour. And I'll tell you, after doing the chicken fence, it didn't take an hour. It took many hours. Good morning. It is day 6. We are out here working on side 3 and 4 of the fence. Yesterday, Joe went through and measured all the T-posts and pounded them all in and made sure they were all the same height. He went all the way around. We got sides 1 and 2 tightened and strung up. So now we are gonna finish with the last roll of fencing, and we are gonna start on that end, and we're gonna work our way to where we were working last night. We're hoping that we can join the two pieces together because we have a roll left there that will definitely stretch, and we don't want to waste any. So what we're going to do is try to start at the other end where the gate was, and we're going to work our way back.
Ready to go.
So we have the fence secured to the one side. We have taken the roll all the way down. And now we are driving down to tighten it. He thinks that we shouldn't tie it down like we did yesterday. I think we should. I think it's just going to unroll. He thinks that it's going to tighten itself. So we're going to try it his way and see how it goes.
Tactical.
So because the roll was unraveling, I suggested that maybe we just roll it down the other side and try to pull it with the remaining roll like we did yesterday. Looks good. But now the only way to get in is the gate.
It's hot when that sun comes out. Huh.
Yeah, it was nice and cool now that we're actually...
So are we going to put another gate up there?
I don't know.
Really crunched it up good.
There you go.
Guess it's salvageable. Bend each one back.
It's not as bad as it looked when it was broken on the board. It's still a little crunched up there, but...
Can you hold this? I don't have an adjustable wrench, but and this is really the wire. We want tight. These. And what I can do is twist them. Good job. I don't know what it's going to do. Maybe sweat, that's for sure. We're going to roll it?
Yep. I'll help.
Move this direction.
Yeah.
Alright. You grab strap, skid steer, and maybe a couple more clamps.
Yeah. So not getting the fence tight enough has made us rethink our strategy. We ended up finding some metal pole brackets and fastened the fence to that through a steel pole. We wrapped the fence back together. We rolled it all up and we brought it over back to the one side. So we kind of labeled them sides 1, 2, 3, and 4. We took the fence back to side 3 so that we could stretch that all the way out, staple it, fasten it, and then stretch side 4. That's how we did side 1 and 2, and that fence is tight. So we're gonna try this again and see if we can get side 3 as tight as we got sides 1 and 2. Wish us luck because both of us are ready to be done with this project. So we put baling wire in 3 spots. We've ratcheted it to 2 different places on the bucket. We have used metal pole clamps to clamp the actual fence and then the pole to the straps. We're doing everything we can to ensure that this is gonna hopefully work. I mean, we are right there. I think we can taste the completion. Oh, if we could just get there already. We've done some learning, that's for sure.
Clear? All the baling wire.
It's really tight down here. It's like you can't shake it. Okay. So I'm wondering if we get it clamped.
We just go with that.
It looks good.
It does.
So,
I need to get the pliers and cut it.
so the guy Ed that came over and dug our lagoon, we love him. He is a wealth of knowledge. He is definitely given us some good advice. So he told us to cut this wire and screw it between these 2 2x6s and then use that to pull. And Joe is going to try using the winch on the Polaris. So let's see if this works. It has been 7 days we have been working on this. We have tried everything. We've even given it a break for a few because it was just so overwhelming. We're at the point now where I really think that this might actually work. We've gotten some great advice, so.
Do that to that, roll it out, do the same thing.
Thanks, Ed.
Would work like 10.
It will. Where's your gloves, Bob? It worked! We got it tight, clipped and stapled. We are on to side 4. So the hose is broken on the auger and it's leaking gas. So we have to take a trip into town to get a new hose before we can start. All right, we're back. We got fuel lines and Joe is gonna replace them so we can get started. An hour later.
Off with the old one and with the new one. Can't help it. It's the way the Lord made me. Alright. So put all that in there. Maybe.
Yep, that way it goes down low. We've really had our challenges with this fence. We really wanted to do it the right way. It's important. We probably went way bigger than we needed to, but we read on the specification recommendations that if you were going to have livestock, that you would want it at the bottom of the berm. Eventually we are going to have livestock, so I do want to have it at the bottom of the berm. But it was just a lot bigger than we thought it was going to be, first of all. And then there was just a lot of learning that took place trying to stretch 400 feet of fence. The fence is expensive. The posts have to be in a certain way, you know. Just a lot of learning, but I feel confident that we could put in another fence. I just think we're a little apprehensive to make it so permanent now. Now that we already want to move the chickens and the pig, it just seems like maybe we should be using electric fencing. That way we can kind of do more rotational grazing, which is what we had intended. I don't necessarily want to leave them in the same spot all the time. And it's starting to stink by the house. And so now that we've got this fencing done, we kind of have an idea of where we want to move that and get that moving into a different direction. Just things that they don't tell you.
They only have 2 inch gap.
So we are going to put in a second fence because we do not have enough fencing after all of the stretching and folding and learning that we've done. So Joe's measuring the pole.
Very unscientific, but it works perfect. Yeah.
All right, we got the posts set. We're gonna let the concrete finish hardening before we add the brace and then pull the rest of the line. We are almost there. I mean, like, I can taste it. It is right there. Well, this is day, I don't even know. We've had so many things going on and been so busy that we've been able to work on the fence very little. We are gonna try while it is cool out before the sun starts really beating down with the heat to try to get the fence finished. We have side 4 to do. We've installed the gate. The gate is set. The concrete's done. It's been a couple days. So we're gonna time ourselves and see how long it takes us to get this fence stretched. We're ready to move on to other projects. We have so many other things going on. So we're timing ourselves. Right now it's 9 o'clock. We're gonna see how long it takes us.
So you got time and you got bugs.
Yep.
You can twist each one of those off.
Okay. They don't come off so easy. Yeah, it kinda, I got this one. There you go. Beautiful. It's stretching that top wire really good when you do that because you're ratcheting it out. Nice. That's good. Very nice. We might want to push this corner down, my love. It's kind of high. All right, we'll just fill it with dirt. We might make our time. we're having an issue with the tension. We have everything stapled, and when we let go of the strap, it releases the tension on the fence, even though we have it stapled in place. So what he's working on right now is cutting every other wire so we can wrap it, and hopefully us wrapping it before we release the tension will help try to keep it in place. Don't want hardware's disease. Just because it was a short side, I thought it was going to go way quicker.
I know. Yeah, I need more. I want to be able to wrap it around and then staple it.
Well, honey.
Oops. Hardware.
That one's a little better, Paul. Those cobalt pliers that you had were way grippy.
Yeah. I mean, these are good too, but they were like rusted shut. So it's a beautiful morning, and it's been a couple weeks, and we're just now finishing up the fence. So let me show you. Fence is looking good. Right now I'm getting staples put in and get it to focus, and I'm going to do that all the way down, and then once I do that, I'm going to use a little winch to pull the fence tight. So Marshall left me this giant hammer, and I'm excited for it. It's huge, and it makes driving these staples a breeze. I stapled it, actually double stapled it at an angle so the wire doesn't split. Looks like I missed a couple on the way down. And then to the support post. And then what I'm doing is I have this big metal pole, and I'm going to cut all these and use these strands of wire to wrap around the pole, and then I'll pull it with that, and it should pull it nice and tight. So let's check it out. I forgot to show you how easy these snip. So I'm right-handed. I'm doing this with my left hand, and it's 12.5 gauge wire. Thanks again, Phil, for these. I didn't do anything too special here. I drilled a hole in this pipe a while back. That line is about 4 feet. The wire that I took these little things off, nobody tells you that you don't want to leave these laying around. Sometimes animals will eat them and get hardware disease, something I know nothing about, but keep it clean. Put it through the hole, wrapped it around, and put a little tie in it just so it stays on. Should be fine. Well, that's it on that one. I think that's a wrap. Just gotta finish up this gate. Shouldn't take that long. Just roll away. And I'm gonna go around each spot and make sure there's no trash, metal pieces, all that stuff. And it's a fence for a lagoon. I gotta get some grass seed, put it down and get a roll of hay to put over it, mulch it, something like that. And next year it'll be beautiful. Thanks for checking out the video.